I don't think that taught us to, wait for Prince Charming because he wasn't even looking at our face. He was into feet.
Do you think, when it comes to the criminal justice system, do you think that the state, the burden of proof falls on the state to prove someone guilty of a crime?
Yes, duh, obviously, right?
I'm not really familiar with the law or anything like that.
I don't think you really have to be familiar with the law. It's pretty common sense. All you have to do is basically watch like any TV show ever that has any sort of police or court proceeding to know that it's basically the government's job to prove you guilty and you're innocent until proven guilty. I thought even like middle schoolers knew that.
Conventions, and I am a college educated. I got my BA in psychology.
There's no way. She's supposed to be a college graduate.
So I'm not going to speak on something that I don't know about.
Okay, well, here, Really? Okay.
That's kind of how I feel. Really?
If the state wanted to accuse you of murder, they would have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that they have accused you of murder, right? Like, they wouldn't just be like, we accuse you of murder, now you need to prove that you're innocent. They have to prove that you're guilty of the crime beyond a reasonable doubt. Okay. Pelagic, Chair 2, student of psychology, my ass, thick as cold molasses. And you said your education was?
BA in psychology.
BA in, what year did you graduate?
2024.
Regardless of what your major is in, if you graduate college, you should know something basic like that. Even if you're like past middle school level, you should definitely know something like that about the country that we're in, that you're innocent until proven guilty, at least in theory. It doesn't always technically work like that, but that's how it's supposed to work.
Thank you
Pelagic.
guys. Madam Houston everywhere. Love the attention.
The other bit I thought was worth mentioning had to do with Cinderella, oddly enough, so let's check that one out. I think it was around here somewhere.
3 years old watching these.
Right.
Like, it's indoctrinating you to believe a certain way about love.
Sure. So you think Cinderella is a bad example for girls?
I don't think it's inherently wrong. I just think it's like a truncated view of love.
Well, for me, it's like, if you don't remember my face, only that my shoe goes in my foot goes in a very specific shoe. You weren't looking at my face. You weren't listening to me. You don't care who I am. I think that's
I don't think that's what Cinderella is about specifically. I think it's not really that he was looking at her feet and it's like, oh, this is the right foot. I have a foot fetish sort of thing. I think it's more because he didn't actually see her, and it was like her personality and like her being that he fell in love with without being able to recognize her. So it's the opposite of superficial. He just happened to have the shoe, and the shoe had to fit. It's more about matching to the woman the only way he has of identifying her, not that her feet have to be specifically small because he likes small feet. Like that. That's not the point, right? I thought that was kind of obvious and a little bit silly here. Cinderella isn't about the prince having a foot fetish. That's just not it. Right?
terrible example for women.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I don't think that taught us to, wait for Prince Charming because he wasn't even looking at our face. He was into feet.
That's not it at all. How could you possibly read it like that? It's more like it doesn't matter what you look like because it's as long as you're that person that he knows what you are, he knows what you're like on the inside, your personality and everything like that. Not just that your feet look a certain way.
I don't mean this as a flex, but within the last week, seven different guys asked me out.
Wow, you're so popular.
To some extent, not from Hinge or any dating apps, but it's just a lack of, I guess maybe I have to get older to where my standards maybe need to be adjusted, but I think that'll come with age, I guess, hopefully.
Wow, so popular and wanted. Everybody wants to fuck you. This was, I think, it's kind of irrelevant. I think the fairy tale portion is over here. And just a few fun little pieces there that I thought might be worth a quick mention. There are a few more things that I'd like to react to, so if you'd like to see that, subscribe, let me know, and I will try to find some time to do a few more things. I do have a few ideas, just have to sit down and, make time.